Hello there, Smarties. Can everyone hear me? We're going to just do a little quick check. I don't know if you can tell, but I have my new streaming tools up because I am just that cool now. Yeah, it looks like I am cool. So this is the Carrie Show night shift. The kids are on vacation this week here in Massachusetts, so I am working double time, watching them during the day and then trying to get some work done at night. I don't know if everywhere has February vacation this week, but Massachusetts does. So you'll have to bear with me because we could have some visitors here at the night shift in the studio. If my streaming tools aren't working, please let me know. I'm going to try to get the chat up, see if I can see it here. If I can't, and you're commenting, I'll get to you later. So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining. This is the Carrie Show. I'm your host, CarrieAnne Cormier. A little bit about me. I'm a financial services executive by trade and marketing and social media nerd at heart. Currently taking a much needed sabbatical from corporate life and working on this passion project here at Bank Smart Studio. And just bringing some fun things to life. So we're just going to talk all the nonsense tonight, a little bit of follow-up from my last show, and just, see where the night takes us. How does that sound? Yeah, pretty good, huh? Cool. So drop a message in the chat from where you're tuning in from. We'd love to see. We have bankers all over the country, and we'd love to see where you're tuning in from. And just say hi. Yeah? Okay, that sounds cool. All right. So we're going to get down to business here. I have the last two shows, which I've been trying to do at like 11 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that's been working good. Have somehow kind of fumbled into rants about DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union, not intentionally, but on their social media, they posted this. It was kind of like an infographic. I'm going to move this around a little bit. Hold on while I'm talking. It was kind of like a little infographic of what Gen Z likes. And it really sent me over the edge because they were posting it on their socials like they weren't talking about Gen Z to Gen Z. And you've heard me say this quite a few times now, but it like really sent me over the edge. So as luck would have it, I found myself in a DCU branch last Friday the 13th. And we are going to talk all about it. And I do have some notes, but I'm pretty sure that I can just spit this off the cuff because I remember it so well. But I may want to make sure I get all the intricate details. And this is no shade at DCU, but it's really going to be a look at what the larger issue with financial services and how there's a reason why people don't go to branches because the experience, it really sucks. And I know everyone says, oh, we have the best customer service and the best free checking account. We were joking about that this week on LinkedIn. Someone posted something and I responded with, oh no, but the free checking is wonderful. I've heard that a million times. But it really like doubles down on it. So I'm going to just do a quick post this on Facebook to let people know that we're live because I have not hooked up yet to my Facebook to oh, I wonder how I do that. Okay, I have not hooked up my Facebook to be able to, let's see, copy, stream with, I think I tried to do my Twitter, but I don't know if it worked. But I should be able to verify my Facebook to be able to post there too. But right now we're going to just let people know on Facebook that we're joining and we're live. How many of you feel like you're working the night shift? Yeah. We're going to post that. Cool. Okay. So I'm going to change some names and be a little bit vague about my situation here. So I have been working on some financial literacy projects, and they've been focused on helping people in my community to really understand credit and savings and managing a budget. And that's really been an awesome way for me to give back this summer and test out some things, I'll say. There's always been a bigger idea with this. It's a great thing for me to be able to help people and create this like little micro community that I've been working on. But it has a larger picture that does roll up to the studio. So you'll hear more about that later, not today, but another time. And so while I've been helping different people with their finances, I had the opportunity to help this individual, and it's a friend of mine, so we're not going to talk about their name or anything like that unless I get permission. But they had said like, "Hey, I'm breaking up with my partner and I don't know what to do because I don't have any money saved, I don't have any credit, and I need to get an apartment, and like everything feels like it's falling apart." And I'm like, this person's, I'll say, on the younger side, early mid 20s. And first of all, I'm like, it's okay. Like if I could tell everyone where I was that age, uh, it was working at a bank. I remember being on the teller line. Um, you'd stay out partying Friday night and you'd go head down on the on the teller line Saturday morning, and you were there. You did not call out. You were there hungover, wearing the same clothes you wore that night. But you were there because you did not call out on a Saturday. I don't let's get for a side rant for a second. I don't know what these people do that call out on Saturdays now. I had a manager who put the fear of death in me that said, you better be calling from the emergency room with an open bullet wound if you are going to call out on a Saturday. Anything else doesn't suffice. So I never called out on a Saturday. I actually rarely called out at all. It was very like twice maybe. But anyway, so I'm like, first of all, let's start first. We'll talk about your savings in a second. What do you mean you don't have any credit? Well, I had one credit card a couple years ago and I didn't pay it, and it closed and I finally paid it off. And I go, okay, so you might have credit. It might not be great. So let's take a look at it. So I said, does your banking app have a credit score in it? They didn't know. And so I'm like, okay, let's start off this. Do you mind sharing where you bank? DCU. Okay, wonderful. This is great because you are Gen Z and we are going to put this to the test. So she tells me that DCU doesn't have a credit tool in their app. I actually don't know if they do. This is something maybe we can look up. Does DCU app credit score tool? I don't know if that's what. Oh yeah. Yeah, provides a free monthly FICO to members directly within their app, accessible under the membership tab. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to write that one down. She didn't know about the credit score tool. We're gonna take an inventory here. So credit, and I didn't get too invasive and check in the app, but we check Credit Karma, which has like a FICO, right? It's not a real FICO, but it was enough to give us an idea of what the report looked like. And I can read a credit report. So I can see, yep, you had a card closed almost a year ago. You had a couple 120s on there on that card. It was paid and closed by issuer. So, okay, that's not wonderful. But it was satisfied. So that's a good part. The score looked to be about a 540. So that's not wonderful. So I said, okay, what are we going to do? Let's talk about our options, right? this previous credit card was with Capital One. So I said, well, they're kind of one of the easiest ones to get credit through. So we're not going to go try to screw Capital One over again, because they're like, hey, we've already seen how this story ends, right? So I go, okay, well, you bank at DCU. Cool. So typically, banks and credit unions have this thing called a secure credit card, which means you pony up some money and they lend you a line of credit against that amount that's in that savings account. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in? I'm happy to go with you. Again, knowing my audience. Gen Zs are anything like millennials. It's the part that they don't want to facilitate these things. So I'm like, cool, we'll go. So I did a quick search online. DCU does have the secured cards. So I go, okay, let's go. So we did have about $500 to pony up for the secured card, which I thought would be a great idea, because when you have a secure credit card, like you bankers know, it just holds in a savings account. So we go there, and it was Friday, about 10 o'clock. It was great. They did have a check-in when you get into the branch, so you could place yourself in line, and there was only appeared to be one other couple waiting ahead of us. And I did like that part, the lobby check-in. If it was a empty lobby with not a lot of offices, I'd be like, why are we doing a check-in? That's just silly. But they did have about 5 offices and a full teller line. Well, teller pod-ish. It wasn't a full line. So I do think that the check-in was helpful, because I don't want that weird thing of who's next, and do I have to like awkwardly jingle my keys or look around to see if anyone's paying attention to me. So we did that. I took about 16 minutes ish to have someone come greet us, and I'm going to anonymize these names. So we're going to probably use a bunch of T names. So we're going to start with this person's name was Trevor. And he comes over and says, hey, how can I help you? And I said, hi, I'm Carrie. I'm here with my friend so-and-so, and we'd like to talk about credit card options. Cool. So then takes us into the office, shuts the door, asks again, how can I help you? And I'm like, well, do you want to go, or do you want like me to share? And she's like, oh no, you can go. Again, Gen Z, similar to millennials. Now that I'm a little bit older, I'm a little more comfortable talking to people. But as a 22-year-old, I was not. So I can understand that, someone younger like this in their early 20s or mid 20s, first of all, they don't really know what they're there for, because they're trying to understand the credit piece. But two, just like, gosh, this bank stuff, man, like, why can't I just do it online? So I'm like, hey, this is what we're looking for. Looking to reestablish credit. She had a credit card with Capital One. It was a slow pay. I'm talking the banker language. Like, it was a slow pay, but it was paid and satisfied. Right. I'm using the lingo. So that should have been a first, like, to them. No, didn't pick up on it. Cool. Which is fine. I was being anonymous. I was in my cool weekend clothes. Yeah. So this felt like a mystery shop. Do people still do that? Do people still mystery shop? We should talk about that one day. Mystery shops. It felt really fun, and I feel like anyone that works in like, could be any sort of customer service, but especially banking, you should shop your competition or other banks and financial institutions out there, because it is so enlightening. And like, this is something that I would talk to my team about if I had this experience while I was like working, because I would like, you always think it can't happen to your organization, and it does. Yeah. Any one of your branches will be a train wreck at some point, if not all the time. So he's kind of fumbling around, and I say, okay, we're looking to do a secured card. We can put some money up. I go, but I don't know how your process works. Meaning, like, do you have to first apply for an unsecured? Because I don't know what your lending guidelines are, right? If you're going to lend to her just because it was $500 and it was a paid and closed, that's fine, right? Like, who am I to contradict your lending guidelines? So, like, just, tell us a little bit about your process. And so he leads us to believe, oh, yeah, no problem. Let's go with an unsecured card. And I'm looking at her. She's looking at me like, all right, it's your credit. And one thing I will say that he was really good. He was like, and so what is the relationship here? And kind of explained it. And then he's like, do you mind if I talk about your finances in front of her? He's like, I'm assuming it's okay because you brought her in here, but I just want to confirm. And I really thought that was good because, so many times we see like, financial crime or someone getting taken advantage of. This was a nice way of interjecting. And I do say, if this was that sort of situation, I'm not sure that would have stopped it because he kind of like breezed through it, but he did check the box, and I feel grateful for that. And I did say, thank you for asking. That's absolutely appropriate. So he starts down okay, so we're gonna apply. Do you mind if I pull your credit? Got a verbal okay, yep. And he's like, yep, I'm just gonna take a minute. I'm gonna put some notes in here. Leaves, comes back, and then is like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm doing some overrides at the teller line. The manager, when they're not here, I gotta back it up. And so he makes some joke about being his first day. And I could tell it was not Trent's first day because he had business cards. And typically you don't have business cards on your first day. So I'm figuring this is a joke. So he's like, oh, okay, it looks good to me. Yep, I'm just putting some notes in here. Everything looks fine. And you actually don't have a credit score. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. But maybe depending on what bureau you pulled, okay, sure. Could happen. He's like, I'm just going to send this down to underwriting. We'll get you on your way. And I'm like, okay, cool. So, like, I'm not feeling like this is going to go well. It was also very order takey. Come on, people. Like, there was no exploring needs. There was no ask. Like, it was just, yeah, okay, what do you need? Okay, I'm going to get you in and out. And maybe that's because there was I'll say a quasi line, because even in the liniest of lines, I don't think that ranked, but well, maybe it was considered a line. I don't know, but it was just lackluster. And he was friendly enough, right? So he goes, okay, so now we're about another 10 minutes in. And he goes, oh, came back denied. And I'm like I told you it probably would, right? I kind of like I didn't bury the lead here. I led with the fact that we wanted to do a secured card. But cool, that's fine. So I go, okay. He goes, yeah, you know what? Here, we're kind of a big organization, and our lending guidelines are a little tough. And I'm like, oh boy. He's like, you'd probably be better off going to like a local shop, like somewhere around here that's a little smaller. And I'm like, oh gosh, he's really going there. He's really doing this. He's like, you might pay a little more percent. But then you can always refinance later. And then he starts saying, well, then you could probably go to like one of those online ones like Capital One. And I'm like, dude, I already told you, man, that's the one that got slow paid. Stop. And I can't believe you're telling us not to. And he does say that. He's like, and I'm like, okay, so let me understand this. We're a member. Well, I'm not. She was. I go, she's a member, and you're telling me that you don't want her business? Well, I thought it looked fine, but underwriting, apparently it doesn't meet the guidelines. I go, okay, cool. So we would like to proceed with the secured option, like I mentioned. Okay, we have $500 to put down. We would like a credit card. Man, I don't know our lending guidelines. I go, okay, I don't understand. Typically, a secured card could pull credit, right? Because it does report to the bureau, but it doesn't always have the same credit decision matrix. I'm not saying this out loud to him, but I'm saying like, typically there's not a credit. It's usually like, we'll decline if you have account abuse or fraud because we don't want you using our cards to play games with. But if you're ponying up on the money, typically if your credit is shit, especially with such a thin file, anywhere I've been would give a card for that. That's like a no-brainer. And I'm like, okay, so how do we go about doing that? And he's like, well, I'm going to have to pull credit again. And I go, hold up. Okay, then the story kind of like changes a little bit. He's like, well, I can use the same thing for 30 days, but maybe you can improve your credit and come back. And I'm like, not in 30 days, I can't. Well, like this. And so I go, okay, can I ask you a question? He's like, what? I go, is this really your first day? Or you were joking about that, right? Right? And he's like, oh yeah. Yeah, I was joking about that. I go, okay, how long have you been here, Trent? Because you're not giving me a lot of confidence here, buddy. And he's like, oh, well, I've been here 2.5 years, but I've been in banking over 10. I go, lovely. Okay, so you know what you're doing. Where were you before this? And I'm like, laying it. Well, I was at Workers Credit Union. Oh, okay. So then he started telling me everything wrong with Workers Credit Union. We're not going to get into that. But I think we can all tell it came from the whole ITM debacle, is why he left. Rightfully so. Why work with a machine when you can work with a genius like Trent? Named, again, redacted to protect the semi-innocent. So I go, okay, so what does this process for a secured card look like? Like, walk me through it. He goes, okay, well, I don't think they're going to approve it. And I go, okay, so like, can you call someone? I go, because typically, now I've already pulled up the credit card disclosures on my phone from their website, and it says nothing about creditworthiness. So I know that they don't decision it based on credit because the other cards all mention creditworthiness. Okay. So now you've been here 2.5 years, Trent, and you don't know your own credit rules. So he's like, well, let me pull up the policy. The policy. Of course you're going to pull up the policy, because why wouldn't you? We need to default to policy. We don't know anything different. And okay, so I got to read this because I wrote this down. He did the steps out loud for me. Okay. He goes, step 1, I need to open the new account. And I go, I don't think she wants another savings account unless you're going to approve the secured card. He's like, well, no, you're not listening. Step 1, open new account. Step 2, put money in account. Step 3, put and change name to secured shared account. Then print instant issue card. I go, okay, so what happens? Why would we open the account if you're telling me, 1, she's probably not going to get approved? Okay, like, did you take your fair lending regs there, Trent? Can someone get him a refresher on fair lending? None of this is good. None of this is good. Gosh, oh my God. I was so stressed for him. He was nice, but I was so stressed. And so he's like, well, the worst case scenario was I just give you the 500 back, because it wasn't in an account there. We had cash or check. And I go, okay, so what I'm hearing, Trent, is that you're going to open this lady up an account for which she's going to have to deposit $500, which means she's going to have to write a check somewhere else, or take cash out and incur a fee at the ATM. That's another thing. And then you're going to tell me that we deposit it, go through all the things, open the account. And then if it doesn't get approved, which you're telling me it's not going to, we're going to have to cancel all that out and you're going to have to give us the money back. Yeah, pretty much. That's what, and I go, do you have a friend in underwriting you can call or Teams chat? Oh, we just have, and I'm like, okay, all right. Yep. You have your policy and procedure. Hey, you know what? We've been here for like 45 minutes now. I have a half hour before I have to pick the kids up. I'm along for this ride. He's like, I mean, things are only getting more difficult with the first tech merger. And I'm like, okay, I want to bait on that. I really wanted to. I wanted to ask more. Okay. But I only have so much time and I'm here to help someone. So we didn't get to that, although I so desperately wanted to. So he goes, okay. putting in, he's like, just got to do the application again. And I'm like, of course you do. He's like, literally talking through it, opening up the secured, how do you want to do that, cash or check? And I go, which one is better for you? We have a check. And he's like, nope, cash is king. And I go, okay then, sir, cash is king. Let's do that, buddy. Okay, cash. I'm going to go make the deposit, and then I'm going to come back. We're going to apply for that. And I go, yeah, of course we are, Trent. Thank you, sir. So comes back. He's like, it was approved. And I'm like, wow, no shit. Of course it was. Because there was going to be some big problems if it wasn't. I was going to have questions about the disclosures. You didn't want questions. I was going to ask for a manager. I sure was. This was fun. I was like sitting back in the chair, like, had my leg up. Let's do it. I was like this. I did not partake in the free coffee, though. I'm not a coffee drinker. I did think they have hot chocolate. But I did not go for the coffee. Okay, but I was getting comfortable in Trent's office. So then he's like, okay, cool. Let me just go print a card up and we'll get you out of here. I'm like, lovely. And he goes, so are you a member? And I go, oh, I'm not. And he's like, how come? And I go, and I'm like, I can't even believe he's throwing in the old, just gonna try this, gonna call this my cross sell. And I go, I just like to spread my money around. And the person I'm with is like being silly, and they're like, yeah, so like, where do you bank? And I say the names of like 2 local banks, one kind of in town-ish, one probably closest is 50 miles away, but both community banks. Well, one community bank and one actually recently turned stock bank. And he goes, oh, you like supporting shareholders, huh? You like those big banks. And I go, okay, all right, I'm going to stop you there for a second, sir. I'm not baiting on this conversation. I do not have time for this today. And he's like, what? You like? And I go, okay, first of all, one of them just went public. Okay. All right. So and who's to say that I'm not one of those stockholders? All right, Trent. All right. With your pinky ring. Okay. Trent. Second of all, the other one is privately held. Okay. So they are not subject to shareholders. He goes, oh, so, and I go, please don't get me started. And he's like, oh, what? You have something more to say? And I go, no, not today, Trent, but I'll be back. I can guarantee you I'll be back to finish this discussion because this is so fun. And I love your cross-sell skills. And he gives me a laugh and throws another dig or two. And he's like, and I'm like, nope, not baiting, because now I'm going to be late to pick my kids up. So you better prance yourself over there with your pinky ring and go get her instant issue card, okay? All right, thank you. So he comes back, flips her card. He's like, all right. So this here is like a debit card. And I go, oh, fuck. Why'd you tell the kid that? It's not like a debit card. It is not a debit card. He's like, and you're just like borrowing your own money. And I go, oh, no. Okay. So when people hear debit card, and I've seen this before, they think that they don't have a monthly payment. They only pay when they want to replenish. Okay. So don't tell her it's a debit card. I go, okay, just hold that thought. We will talk about the card back in the car. All right. Trent, you have done enough damage here. Thank you so much. Hand. Have a great day. Okay. Now I'm going to say the branch was cleanliness enough. He was nice enough. It was so lackluster. All right. And we're going to go back to one of the things on their site about Gen Z, right? So when DCU did this little survey about credit unions and Gen Z and all that and what they're looking for in a financial institution. So 25% thought you needed flawless credit. No, they didn't. Trent, you did. Okay. You didn't even know your own credit guidelines. Okay. And you've been there 2.5 years and you've been in banking over 10. And you didn't know that typically for a secured card, you don't need perfect credit. Okay. That's the point of a secured card. Yeah. Okay. So Gen Z is not the stupid one here. What else? They want financial education and advice at their fingertips. You know what you don't tell Gen Z? That it's like a debit card. Yeah, that's dumb. 28% choose their bank for in real life branch access. Sometimes you need that face to face. No, because you couldn't accomplish it online. Because I am sure that your online process was just as much of a shit show as your in branch process without the free coffee or hot chocolate. Yeah, because when I went to mention to my husband that we had gone into the branch, he goes, "Yeah, digital federal credit union because you can't do anything digital there." And I'm like, "Oh gosh, okay." We'll take he's pretty technologically savvy, so we'll assume that he knows. But it was so odd because any other time I've gone to DCU with someone to like get a loan, and it's been a couple times over the last, I'll say decade, it's always been like such an easy process. And I've been like so amazed by like them and specifically the credit union world and how efficient the like lending process is. You don't have to like send a big paper file down back and a blood type and like your firstborn and like all this and like maybe in 48 hours I'll get you a response. Like this is like been quick. So that was kind of like my perception going into it about credit unions is that like, okay, this is going to be easy. Like because if I thought that she wasn't going to get approved, we wouldn't have gone there and I wouldn't have embarrassed myself with her and tried to give her advice and help her out if it was going to be a downfall. So it was like, here I am like putting my like reputation on the line with her to say like, hey, I can help you and we can talk about how to build credit because that's the first step in being independent. Because credit isn't just for having a loan. It's for job applications. Some of them pull credit. It's for getting that apartment that you need. That checks credit. So I felt like so stupid. And I'm glad it all worked out. But like DCU, man, you're not like matching up. You're not matching up. And like, oh my gosh. Bottom line, Gen Z wants smart tech, real talk, and serious security when it comes to their money moves. I can't even say you had maybe 1 out of 3. I mean, we'll if you want to say that the serious security part was asking if it was okay to talk in front of me, was sure, we'll give you that one. Smart tech, no. Real talk, no. That was so lackluster. I'm just looking at the infographic to see if there's anything else. I wonder if I could pull it up. You know what? We're just going to do this to try our new streaming tools. You may see everything on my computer, but let's give this a shot. We're just going to do it for fun. You don't really, what's on here isn't that exciting. So like, let's say present. Share screen. Sharing screen is easiest with 2 monitors. Okay, good. I do have 2 monitors. Let's minimize that. And let's bounce this over here. And let's zoom this out. You guys are along for the ride because we're building out loud, remember? Building out loud, baby. Okay. Okay. Share audio, check. Where's best on a good computer? I would say this is a good computer. Okay. Google would like to record this computer screen and audio. Sure. I don't know if I want to. Oh, because it's flipping over. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I don't know if I'm doing this right. Later. Okay. Put that down. Oh, no. Chrome tab. Oh, let's see. Window, entire screen. Oh, no. Oh, so it's not letting me show my other screen. To share your screen, allow screen recording for Chrome. Oh, I have to have a Chrome open. Okay, hold on. Well, that's silly. Let's pull up this infographic here. The other thing I have, it was in Safari. I'm a dork. Let's move this over here. Let's try it. Okay, got it. All right, let's try this. Chrome tab. Yeah, there we go. We're just trying this for fun. And let's throw this up here. Add to stage. Ooh, look at this, look at this, look at this. We're doing it, 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 yeah. Do you guys like my new theme song? It's not the new one. It's one I use for videos. It's not going to be the forever one, but I thought since I was trying my new streaming tools, I would throw it up there. So this is the Gen Z and credit unions. Banking blend you didn't know you needed. What really matters when picking your bank? They reveal how Gen Z manages money, embraces tech, and views credit unions. 25% thought you needed a flawless credit. No, that was Trent's thinking. Would now consider joining a credit union once they have found credit unions offer better rates and the same protection as banks. Okay, so I will say the rate was good. It was about, I want to say 15% for the secured card. 15 or 18 max, but I think it was 15. And I was just like, wow, that's good. I'll take that. They said they offer anywhere between 12 to 18. That was good because, as you know, most places are 29, 30 plus. I'm sure that Capital One was. So we'll give them that. 54% want their bank to use AI if it means shorter wait times and a smoother online experience. Yeah, seriously. Okay. If Trent, if you can't get the credit score and the decision matrix down, bring on the AI. Okay. Like, it blows my mind that anyone that had been in an institution for 2 years wouldn't know that basics about a secured card, especially if you have been in the industry for like 10 plus years. That's just wild. Like, blows my mind. What do you guys think? Am I like off here? What do you think? Like, is this totally like out of left field? Because I was so irritated and I played along because it was like fun. I was like in it for the bit. Like, and I was waiting for him to be like, do you work in banking? And I was going to have to be like, I'm going to call myself banking adjacent. Not like, hey, I was a COO or I was a head of strategy for, yes, I ran 10 branches with my eyes shut. Okay. And I can tell you that I would hope that they would know what a secured card is. Or at least like literally anywhere I've been, 2 clicks and you could get the information on the intranet internally and say, okay, yeah, here's our credit matrix. But let's think this through, right? Like, that's in a perfect world. I wonder if I should I would love to like shop places just for fun. I think you should all shop places. Shop your own institution. Shop each other's institutions. Like, I would love to see what that looks like. Cause like, it's so, I want to sit here like on my high horse and say that wouldn't happen. Now I would give someone more leniency if it was someone at the line, that they were focused on transactions. Should they have gathered this in new hire training? Absolutely. Right. But, if you've been there for that long and the amount of fair lending violations and like dissuading her from like trying to open an account and telling her to go somewhere else, it's so funny because it would remind me of like, I remember being young and on the teller line and we'd have people come in and they would this is back when we had money orders. Anyone still do that anymore? Not just bank checks, money orders, right? So it was anything under $1,000, you get a money order. And I was like, the upbeat, like bubbly, like teller. And I was like so happy to help. And they'd be like, "Oh, I'd love to get a money." I'm like, "Great, just do you have your account number? I can look you up and get that started." And they're like, "Oh yeah, no, I don't have an account here." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So the post office right down the street, they sell money orders. And it's only like 60 cents. And ours are like $3. So you're like getting a better deal anyway. That's what it felt like. Did I gradually like have a manager that was like, that is a great cue and clue to be able to use a phrase that said, like, let's transition to like, would you like to open an account? Or I can get you started with a savings and then we can take that money order for you. But that's what I felt like. I felt like this was Trent's first year on the teller line, and he was like using a phrase like that. If you're doing overrides, you should know this stuff. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. It was such a trip. I need you guys to sit with me. Shout out to the replay crew, by the way. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it as we build the studio. I want you just to sit with me for a second and like think about your financial institution and like all the customer touch points. I need to breathe because this is just, it's like overwhelming how like just like bad and misinformed. I'm looking to see if yeah. Yeah. I'm looking to see if, yeah, that was pretty much it for the interaction. It left so much to be desired, and yet people love DCU. And the fact that he's saying, "Oh, it's really crazy," and all this stuff going on with the first tech merger, it's going to be interesting to see what that looks like. And I do plan on going back, Trent. So if you're watching, and you figured out that you took your pinky ring to go get the instant issue card, I'll be back. It'll be fun. We're going to expect more. But like if you have this like, okay, we're going to wrap this up because I have another customer service story to tell you, not in banking. If you have this like prime person in front of you that can like, you can help and make a difference in their life. All right. You know what would have been really great is like, "Hey, I'd love to follow up with you in a month when we get ready for your first payment. Do you want to book an appointment now? Let's book an appointment now. We'll get you on the calendar. I'll reach out a couple days before just to confirm it still works for you." Okay. And like, no, it was in and out order taking. Banks, credit unions, we need to be better than this. Like, if you want to compete with the online banks and the fintechs that are big, bad, and scary and coming to eat your lunch, do better. Like, don't just like out the door. Like, you could have helped this person. It was disappointing. Yeah. Okay. So switching gears, because I have sucked my DCU rant dry for today. So this is outside of banking. We're gonna take this down. Oh yeah. I still have this up. Off the stage. Ta-da! I'm back. Do you want to see the pinky ring again? Okay, one more time. Thank you. Okay. So, my daughter does gymnastics, and it is vacation week here, like I said. And she had her regular class at her regular gym this week, and I'm like looking for things to do because all the kids are home. So I'm like, "Oh, this other gym down the street is hosting a tumbling clinic." I'm like, "So cool." She like doesn't get enough time to focus on tumbling. She loves that. So why don't I sign her up? It's 2 to 4, 2 days a week. Perfect for a vacation. So I signed her up. You could do it online. It was a little clunky because you just like enter some basic information and it's like, "Okay, you're booked." And I'm like, "Okay, you didn't take any sort of waiver. You didn't take a payment. I'm confused, but okay. And so now I'm getting like the anxiety of like, oh no, I must have messed something up. I probably booked on the wrong site. Like, because they have like the regular portal for the regular clients, and then this was just like an offshoot calendar thing. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I did it wrong in the calendar. You're not really supposed to book. It was just a feature they didn't disable, right? This is all the like spiraling anxious thoughts that go through my head. And so I email them, and this is maybe 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, hey, I signed her up for this. This is where she goes to her regular studio. And I didn't have a payment option. Like, is there a way I can pay like another link? And they go, oh, no, we'll accept payment when you get there. Okay, fine, cool. It's 2 days. So we go there. It's in like a nondescript factory, which was a little weird. There was like one like vinyl sign on the door that said the name of the gym. So I'm like, okay. There's a couple cars parked outside and like people in the cars running, which leads me to believe they're waiting to go in. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's locked. But I'm not going to be that person that assumes, because then it's like we're all in the car. Then it's this whole big mess. So I'm like, okay, let's all hoof it out of the car, because I had the boys too. So we go up to the door, pulls the door, locked. All right, great. So it's 5 minutes until class starts, and I like to be 15 minutes early because I'm thinking, okay, I need to pay. I need to sign her up. I need to ask you like all this stuff, like sign any sort of release forms. No, it is now 2:02, and some schlup in hoodie and sweatpants rolls up and gets out, walks up to the door, open it, look at me, and goes, "Are you waiting for something?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're here for the tumbling clinic. All right, you can come in and wait outside. It's cold out." And I'm like, "Wait outside? Come in and wait? Dude, it started 2 minutes ago." Okay, so they're like, all right, we're going to go in. They're turning the lights on to the factory, turning the heat on, which it was warmer outside, followed them into the gym part, which was a little separate from the factory. Doesn't even say like, hi, I'm Coach so-and-so. Oh my gosh, great to have you. What's your name? Apparently the other girls like knew the drill. So they were lining up. And so I'm like, okay, honey, let's just grab your sweatpants and your water and you can go line up. And so like, they're like clearly waiting for her to like go line up. So she does. And now she's only 6. So like navigating this by herself is like not possible. She's like really good and outgoing and like will talk. So I don't have to worry about that. But like, it was just weird. So she gets in. Immediately, they start doing warm-up. And I'm like, you didn't even ask her name. You didn't like say, okay, hey, guys, we're all here for the tumbling clinic. This is what we're going to do. I'm Coach so-and-so. Like, nothing. Haven't even paid yet. Nothing, okay? So I'm just going to stop here for a second. Now, this is my first impression of your brand. What do you think I'm thinking? Forget the fact that it's in a factory. I can overlook that. The class was actually wonderful. My daughter enjoyed it so much. They did a lot of things that she doesn't do in her typical gym. So it was really cool. But if that's my first impression of your brand, that one, let's get outside of the fact that the whole online stuff was like didn't work that well. You can't even like muster up a smile or an introduction other than are you waiting for something? Yeah, I was waiting 2 minutes ago for a tumbling clinic. They can be glad that my name is Carrie, not Karen. Because if I were a Karen, this would go a lot differently. So my daughter goes through class. She had so much fun. It was great. I got to watch most of it. I had to bring the twins like outside for a little bit because they were just like all over the place. But then at the end, they're like, all right, thanks. And I'm like, so by now there's some more people had come in, and there was this like, I'll say older lady. She was like maybe like mid 60s, late 60s, maybe a little older, but I'm going to go with mid 60s, sitting at a little like folding table and she had like a little, um, uh, like a tablet laptop thing, um, and then like a little zip bag and like a notebook. So I'm thinking, okay, she must be like a registration or like pay. So I'm like, hi, my daughter was just here for the tumbling clinic and we're coming back on Thursday. And I wasn't able to make a payment online and they told me I could pay when I got here. She's like, what? And you could see now like one of this other coach that was a little older that had come in that was like looking at her like she was going to jump in, but she didn't jump in. And I'm like, she's like, I don't know anything about this. I just got here. And I'm like, okay. So, is there a way I can pay? And she's like, and what was on the tablet clearly looked like some sort of payment vehicle. Okay. So it had like where you enter information. So she's like, are you looking to pay card or cash? I'm like, whatever you can accept at this point. Cash would be good. I go, okay, sure. I'm going to risk the fact that you're just going to pocket that money. It's going to get lost. I'm not going to ever see it. That's cool. Whatever. Because then I will be a Karen. So she's like, how much is it? And I'm like, oh my God, for Christ's sake. Okay. So it's $50 for the 2 days together because she's doing both. We're going to be back on Thursday and you're not going to charge me then. Okay. Because I'm paying now. Okay. So like write my name down and her name and paid $50. She's like, I don't have a receipt. I go, write it in your notebook. Okay. She doesn't go, okay, thank you. And then my daughter's like, thank you. Because she just like had the best time. And so now here I'm thinking, okay, let's flip this the other way. This could have been a pivotal moment. Like I could have switched gyms. If she had loved it and I had loved it, I could have switched gyms. Or I could have signed her up at both gyms. Like if they had like a one-off classes or like drop-ins, I would totally sign her up. But like where they're being rude and like it was a shit show, I don't know if we'll do it again. I'm on the fence. The gym that she goes to, the regular one, the classes are a little more of a cluster because they have so many going on at the same time, but they're always so friendly. They're so welcoming. It's easy to pay. It's easy to enroll. It's easy to like change classes. Like they're the best. I'm going to say both digital experience and physical experience. It's like nails it. All right. The part that falls short is I feel like, and maybe it's just the age and the like course track that she's on, is they don't get enough specialized. It's like they do a little bit of everything. So she doesn't have really time to like develop her technique. And this is me being a dork because she is only in first grade. She doesn't need to develop her technique. Right. But I want to make sure that if she like really likes a certain thing and there's an opportunity to like pursue like tumbling, because she also does dance and that would be great for that. Or like I want her to have those options. Right. So I thought this was like a cool little thing. If it was like a home run, I could switch. All right. It was not a home run. Both the other one, the digital experience sucked and the physical experience sucked. So we're going to get on Thursday. Now we know a little bit more of the lay of the land. All right. By the way, it was freezing there the entire time. So cold. Thank goodness. Like she was running around because like I was sitting there and I was freezing and I'm going to bring a blanket tomorrow. I'm bringing a blanket because it was that cold. And usually like I'm warm. And my little like twinnies, like I can't, we had to go to the car and like warm up. Like they were so cold. So it was just so odd. So odd. Like, so let's like relay this to like your bank, right? If your first experience can't even be like, forget the competency of knowing what a secured card is and how that works. If you can't be greeting promptly, if you can't be engaging, if you can't use your name and make an introduction, like you're missing it. Because so many times it's like looking down and you're in line like, do they see me? Do I have to jingle my keys? Am I supposed to stand up to the window? It doesn't have a next window please sign, but they haven't looked up and acknowledged me. And now there's someone behind me. And I'm wondering if that person going to push me up to the window, but I don't know if that window is getting ready to close or not, if they're ready for me. Like, don't give us this kind of anxiety. Don't do it. So like, you could say like, hey, I'll be right with you. Just give me 1 second. Or like, hi, I'm Carrie. You can come on over. I'm finishing up this transaction and I'll be right with you. Just come over here. Like, these need to be like, these are first brand impression moments or reoccurring brand impression moments. And these are the moments that like make or break it, because people don't leave typically because the products suck. They leave because of one of these experiences, that there was a moment in time where something happened and you had the opportunity to make it better or fix it. And sometimes they're willing to let that go if they have like a positive brand equity. Like, you've built up so many positive moments that, oh, this is so unlike them. But you have a bad moment, you have an overdraft fee, your deposit doesn't go in like with enough availability, whatever. Then you're thinking like, oh, this is just like them. They never greet me. They don't even know who I am. I always have to wait. Like, think of all those things. But if you're prompt in your greeting, if you're knowledgeable, those other things, when something happens, you still have a loyal brand advocate and someone that's in your corner and going to stick with you. I can tell you that both of these experiences fell short in different ways. But they always last with me. And I really love the customer and member experience side and sharing this with you. And I know it was like totally a rant, but I didn't want to save it for the next show when we get back on track because it was just so fresh in my mind. I actually wanted to do a live like right after we left DCU, but I did have to go pick the kids up. And what were we doing? We were going to go do something. I think they had a play date or something. I was picking them up. We had a play date in the afternoon right after school. So didn't do that, but I was like so hyped up, and I actually texted her while we're sitting there. And I'm like, Trent is gonna make it to my YouTube show. Because I was just like, and she laughed. And this was when he was waffling back and forth on the ability to open a secured card. But I'd love to hear like as we have some guests on at some point, I'd love to talk about like customer member experiences. And have you come across something like this at your institution, at another institution, at Target, at an online retailer, anything like that you're able to like think about and share? Because I love when I have like really good moments and I'm able to incorporate them with my team at work, or if I have like really bad moments and I'm able to like share them and say like, hey, how can we build off of this? Or let's do a little drill. What would we have done in this situation? Or what are some other ways we could have made what I call a brilliant recovery? I got that one from a friend. But when you have a brilliant recovery and you're able to go above and beyond. So let's say this all happened at DCU, right? And he could like sniff out the fact that I knew my shit. And like what he could have done something like, maybe it was like, hey, here's a little DCU wallet swag, or here's a keychain. I don't know, what do kids think? Here's a gift card, $5 to there's literally a coffee shop next door to Aroma Joe's. Like, why don't you have things like that you could like make it a slam dunk? Places are so like, oh, we got to have swag. Well, what's the good of having swag if you don't give it out in like moments like this? That would have like made her day. Like if you had just given her something stupid, DCU chapstick. Like that would have been so cool. And it would have been silly, and it, to a lot of people, maybe it wouldn't have meant anything, but it says like, I'm thinking of you. And everything about that moment and that interaction did not say I'm thinking of you. It said you're just a number, you're just a transaction. And I hope to get to experience that again, and maybe be able to experience other financial institutions again, to be able to share here. And I'd love to hear the ones that you have as well, because I think it's so important. And especially if we're going to continue having this physical versus digital discussion, if we can't get either right, and if we're going to go in, like, let's assume a lot of these institutions and you guys are all still going all in on physical, it's gotta be right. It's gotta be right. So that's something to think about for today as we wrap up. Cool. Cool. Oh, that's like just about an hour. We got this in before the kids came storming up the stairs to break into the studio. Yeah. Uh-huh. So we're calling this one Bank Smart Carrie the night shift because we are working full overtime this week. I don't know if you guys are feeling it too, but I totally am. So maybe we'll continue throwing in a couple other night shift episodes, make them a little different, not have a full around the web like the other ones. We will be back to our regularly scheduled programming next week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, typically at 10 o'clock in the morning. And we'll go from there. See if that time works for everyone. I'm definitely seeing a lot of people on the replay. So again, shout out to the replay crew. I do go back and read the comments. So if you're able to throw something in the chat that you want me to see, or feel free to DM me on Instagram at BankSmartCarrie or at BankSmartStudio. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook as well. We just love to connect. So thanks everyone for joining. And I hope you stay social, my friends. And we'll see you later. All right. Thanks for checking out my new streaming tools with me. Have a good night.